great game this is. But if only there was a way I could make it unnecessarily difficult and cause immense pain and suffering on myself for no reason. I've got just the idea. Welcome to the 9 Souls 0% run. The goal is simple: beat the game. But there are just a few stipulations. Number 1, no jades. Not something too bad. There's really only a couple that I would say helped me a lot. The rest I can live without. Number 2, no weapon or health upgrades. This means no arrow upgrades and expansions from Quafu, no additional pipe veils for healing, and no giving poison to Shenong for more health. Number 3, no skill points. This is the killer. There's a lot of abilities here that help greatly, like dealing extra damage from behind, getting back up quickly after taking a hit, more chi charges, and, being able to run. This is definitely the hardest part of this challenge. Number 4, I can only use what the game gives me. Basically stuff I need to progress the game, like the basic power-ups like the unbounded counter, air dash, and double jump, as well as the bow, with only 2 arrows in the default type, and the super mutant buster at the end of the game. But yeah, that's it. For the whole game, I'm stuck with this tiny health bar, 2 heals, and 1 chi charge. Oh boy. So the run began as I made my way through the 8-man facility, and one thing you'll notice is that I really don't want to fight any enemies. I mean, I could beat them, especially since this is the beginning of the game, but 1, they would just get in my way, and 2, later on when tougher enemies appear, it's easier to just avoid them. Basically, Yi is a noble pacifist who only fights when he has to. After making a quick pit stop at the Four Seasons Pavilion and getting the bouncy jump, it's time to go down to the power reservoir and eventually make our way to the first boss of the game. And since this is the first boss, he wasn't that much of a challenge. I mean, he's actually made with the fact that you would only have a few upgrades at this point, so he's meant to be easy. But nonetheless, he was quickly defeated, and now with Quafu on my side, the first soul seal is mine for the taking. Oh yeah, and sorry Quafu, you're a good guy, but I'm never talking to you again. Same goes for you, Xuan Xuan. Xuan Xuan? How do you say his name?
Shen Shen.
Same goes for you, Shen Shen. I mean, I love you, but for now Big Brother's got other things to worry about, like not dying 500 bajillion times. Although I will be taking that bow, as it will be very useful later on. Next, it's time to go to the agricultural zone, where after a fun little boat ride, I was sent falling down a pit by these 2 dickheads. But hey, at least now I can get the charge strike, which will be very useful because as we'll see later on, the basic attacks do fuck all damage. One more boat ride later, and it's already time for the second boss. Man, they did her dirty, because this fight is really easy. Just avoid the little shits and beat the crap out of her when the chance arises. I mean, they couldn't even give her a second phase? Like, come on.
That's
So nice!
Another soul down, and another seal obtained. And now it's time to head to the other side of the map for the Boundless Repository. But not before getting jump scared, of course. Running through this part was a bit annoying, what with all the moving parts, and the part where you have to avoid all of these blasts. But hey, you get to control a big robot, so what's not to love? It's also here where the air dash is acquired. At least it helps me zoom around the place. I mean, when you can't run, you have to think of other solutions. Also had to fight through Sing-chan real quickly. I never really talked to my boy over here, so this might be a little awkward having someone roll up and just beat the shit out of your brother. I'm sure he'll understand. In due time, the fight with Yen Lao's giant claw was upon us. And this thing actually put up a little bit of a fight, mainly just because it took a while to defeat it. It's here where the endurance part of the run begins to emerge, as these bosses will only take longer and longer to beat. But luckily this claw still isn't super hard, and it was also swiftly defeated. The old man was taken off life support, and the third seal was obtained. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Who's this? Oh, it's Jiequan. He wants to fight? I mean, sure. I'll go ahead and kick his ass right now. Well, I'm in prison now, which kinda sucks. But at least all these guards have tunnel vision, so that helps. And thankfully, I don't really have to fight anybody, I can just hide. Eventually, I'm able to escape, but not before having to fight Kanhui. And this is where the bow really shows its usefulness, as it can easily take care of multiple enemies, something that will be very important later. This guy was also kind of annoying, mainly because of this asshole, but after a couple tries, he was also taken care of. Then it was time to head to the factory, also known as the most irritating part of the map, as you gotta worry about these conveyor belts, these goddamn archer guys are introduced, and of course the rooms just spontaneously combust every so often. But you do get the unbounded counter here, which will come in handy in just a moment. Finally, after working my way up to the top, it's time to face Jiequan. And because I'm a man, I didn't use no gene eradicator to make him easier. If I'm doing this, I'm doing it legitimately. And yeah, this is where things began to get actually kinda tough, as this big boy packs quite a punch, and he has quite a lot of health as well. Of course, by this point you're supposed to have upgraded your skills to have more attack and chi damage, but not this guy.
Oh, come on. What? That's bullshit!
So it was a test of patience, as I had to find the right time to get some damage in, as any one mistake can quickly spiral into death.
No! Fuck!
He's the first foe that actually took me a while to beat, but eventually he was defeated.
Boom, baby, yeah!
But, whew, I need a break after that. And, oh wait, what's this place? Yeah, might as well chill in here. Ah, this is nice. Oh wait, I need to kill you. I guess I better get going. Fortunately for me, there's no enemies to worry about here, just a lot of platforming. Good thing I am a god gamer at platformers. I would never fall shit. After one quick mini boss and a nice big crunch, it's time for the next boss fight. Also known as the long as fuck boss fight. Being one of only 2 bosses in the whole game to have 3 phases is one thing, but of course, her whole gimmick is having a flurry of attacks with most of them being fakes. For reference, the first phase took about 40 seconds to get through, the second phase took 4 minutes. Things got a little hairy, as it took around 40 minutes for me to beat her, the most of anyone so far.
Oh, come on, dude.
But finally, the finishing blow was dealt, and the 5th seal was taken.
Boom! Motherfucker! Yeah! Woo!
At this point, I'm feeling good. I mean, it's only been 4 hours, and I'm already about halfway through the game. There's no way things will get worse from here, right? Well, enough lollygagging, it's time to head to the Empyrean district, but not before getting the double jump, thank you very much. After climbing, and falling, and getting back up, the Sky Tower, the game throws the most annoying little shits at me. The mutants, ranging from these little ones who are surprisingly mobile, to the big guys who can be kind of annoying to jump over. Of course, the big deal is that they won't die, so at this point, it's not even worth fighting them. It's not worth fighting anybody really, as this place can definitely kick your ass if you're not careful. Of course, shoutouts to Fuxi for leaving his seal unattended so I can just snap it. Surely he won't be mad about that. This little fight on the elevator gave me some trouble, but with enough perseverance, I was able to get through and make it to the boss.
Fuck you.
It's here where things got really hard. Fuxi is the second hardest boss in the game in my opinion, mainly because he's got a lot of health, Nua likes to be annoying in the second phase, and he hits really hard. He's the first guy who can actually kill me in one shot now, and with my little piss baby sword it took quite a while to fight him. The charge strike and talisman attacks were basically essential, but even with them it still took around 4 minutes to get through phase 1. And then in phase 2 you gotta worry about all the other nonsense like these needles or these big snakes. Seriously, hitting the parry right but still getting pushed back into the snakes is so goddamn annoying.
God!
Fuxi took over 2 hours to beat because of this. But finally, I was able to get the perfect run, and this big fella was defeated.
Yeah! Oh my god!
Now I can get that seal and never have to come back to this hellhole ever again. Anyways, now it's time for an actually fun fight. But not before having to run through this confusing grotto. Seriously, I spent so long in this room on my first playthrough, it is crazy. But nonetheless, it's time to fight G, also known as the #1 femboy of the game. And yeah, this is another one of my favorite fights. All the little spines you gotta dodge, the fact that you can choose which attacks he does, and the fact that this guy can actually give you health and arrows back. How nice of them. And of course, the music absolutely slaps. In quick work, G was slain, and now I was only one seal away from the end.
Boom, baby! Yeah.
But before that, we gotta go through this place first, the Research Institute. Luckily, we actually have a way of killing these mutant fucks now with the Super Mutant Buster. But even still, this place can be a pain to navigate. As yeah, I'm running around not fighting anybody, and they don't seem to like that very much. But alas, we descend deeper, and as Yi dashes through these dark halls, I reflect on how far I've come. I mean, it's only been about 8 hours. This run hasn't presented that much of a huge challenge outside of a couple instances. I'm over here feeling like the goddamn king of this game. But this is where the run truly began to take its toll. First, after getting everything sucked out of you and watching this cool scene, it's time for the worst part in the whole game. The dreaded hallway from hell. Yeah, this place actually sucks. There's lots of enemies to deal with, including these mutant assholes. The hallway is very narrow, meaning it's easy to get cornered. It's an auto-scrolling segment, and yet enemies can still appear from off-screen and hit you, which is bullshit. The fact that I only have one chi charge means I have to use it on this guy who can take out all the other ones. But of course, sometimes I could just hit the wrong one and basically be screwed. And of course, the game does a little bit of trolling and hides your health during this part. This damn hallway took longer to beat than any of the other bosses thus far, aside from Fuxi. And unlike those guys, which actually required skill to beat, this hellish place just felt like you needed a lot of luck to get through, as everything needed to fall the right way to get the perfect run. And screw this hallway, the worst part of the game easily.
Yes! Oh my god, I beat the shit tunnel from hell! Oh, yes!
And even after you beat that, you're still not done, as there's 2 more combat rooms to get through, including having to deal with this guy. But thankfully, these aren't nearly as hard as that dreaded hallway. Finally, after all that effort and work, it's time for the final boss. Fighting your mentor to determine the fate of this whole station is definitely one cool-ass idea for a final boss, but little did I know how much trouble Eigong would give me. This was the breaking point. Eigong is easily the hardest boss in the game, as she has so many attacks that can wipe the floor with you easily. It has everything: the super long fight, all the tough attacks, the fact that she can kill you practically instantly. She demands perfection from everything. You have to get every parry, nail every dash, and know everything that's coming so you won't get caught off guard. I basically felt like a damn supercomputer fighting this boss, as one little slip up would be the end of it all.
Fuck my life!
After a while, it just felt impossible. Like there was no way I would be able to get everything perfect. I felt like I was reaching the limits of what I was capable of. And then the game crashed. No, actually, my whole computer crashed. And when I went back to the game, my save data was gone. All that work, all the struggles, the trials, the tribulations, gone in an instant. Needless to say, this almost killed the run. I was ready to throw in the towel. No way was I gonna play through the whole game again. However, the devs did do me a little favor by having made a save before the point of no return. So, praise the Lord, my save was restored. I mean, it still put me back a little bit. I had to do that damn hallway again. But hey, at least it's better than playing the entire game again. But even still, Eigong felt like an obstacle I couldn't overcome. I had gotten to the second phase, I even got her down to a quarter health on a couple occasions, but I was never able to get the finishing blow.
No!
It felt like pounding my head against a brick wall. My hands were sweaty, I was starting to feel sick, I needed a break.
No!
So, I put the game down, and I left. I mean, yeah, I had to go to work and all that, but that little reprieve was what I needed to pull myself together. As the rain fell that night, my confidence and vigor were restored, and as I returned home from work, I booted up the game one last time.
Yes! Oh, yes!
And that was it. The 9 Souls 0% run was officially completed. Overall, it took around 12 hours to do, of which 3 of those were spent on just Eigong. It was tough, it was very frustrating, but man, it felt so good to finally win. And before anyone asks, why did you do true ending? Well, you have to help Shenong out with the village stuff. Oh yeah, I never really talked to him. How's he doing? Oh. Well, you have to give him every poison, which would also mean maxing out your health, which kinda goes against the rules of the run, so I didn't do it. Plus, the only difference is Eigong's 3rd phase, which if it took me over 3 hours to beat her normally, I only dread how long that would have taken me. But whatevs, the run was finally done, and if you want to try this challenge out for yourself, go right ahead. But be warned, it is really goddamn hard and will test your patience a lot. But have fun, I guess. And yeah, shoutouts to Red Candle Games for making this masterpiece. Thanks for watching. I need a break from this game now, so I'm gonna go play something else. See you later.